Welcome in, I'm Archers, and in this video, I'm here to remind you that Gecko Moria is still a deck. Yes, it is a deck that I think a lot of people are sleeping on because, well, Lucci is the flavor of the month black deck. However, I will say that Gecko Moria, in my opinion, is probably one of the more consistent and honestly better black decks out there, simply because of the amount of pressure that it can just consistently put out. The ability is Dawn ×1 when attacking. Pay 2 Dawn, discard 1 card from your hand and put the top 2 cards of your deck into the trash and play 1 Thriller Bark Pirates character with a cost of 4 or less from the trash. That was a novel to read, but that ability is very strong because what you're able to do is recur bodies that have been put into the trash and gaining the on-play effects from them. Now, I think a lot of people have transitioned off of Gecko Moria because there is a Great Eruption ban from the previous set, and I think Great Eruption definitely helped with the cost reduction and being able to play more of a control style deck with Gecko Moria. However, I think that the leader ability, plus also the general abilities that the cards have transitioned this leader into less of a control-based leader and more of an aggro almost deck. It's kind of weird to say, but you're able to spit out a bunch of bodies, and those bodies just being a baseline 5,000 power demands cards from your opponent's hand, and eventually they can't answer all of them every turn, and you can just swarm the board and start hitting for bigger numbers by just attaching more Dawn. And of course, naturally, the Gecko Moria leader plays the ACOS Gecko Moria in its deck list, so overall, very strong, lots of value to be played here. But before we get into the deck list and how it's changed in OP07, if you find anything in this video useful or informative, please make sure to drop a like and a sub. It helps out the channel immensely. Additionally, if you'd like to talk about the One Piece card game outside of the YouTube comments and join an active community, please make sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description below. So getting into the deck list, let's go straight into it. We are running 2 of the 3-cost Brook from EB01. This is an on-play, and when attacking, give it to one of your opponent's characters with cost -1 during this turn, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters that has 0 cost. So there are a fair amount of cost reduction cards in the deck that will allow your Brook to be able to KO something when attacking. For the most part, though, it is a decent threat that you can play out with the Gecko Moria combo play with, Gecko Moria into Rebecca, into like maybe a Helmeppo, and then Brook comes out. So there are ways to get rid of opponent's cards on the field with this Brook. Overall, I'd say the main point of this deck is to spit out bodies, but also in the process kind of like answer the field without having to attack into bodies quite yet with some of the on-play abilities and swinging abilities like Brook. Another card that we added into this deck that I think we saw maybe like 1 copy of last set, but we've upped the copies for this set, is the 6-cost Sakazuki. It is an on-play. You may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. This, coupled with Ice Age, can answer anything in the game. All you have to do is discard a card, which Moria likes to have his trash filled up, so you're kind of just feeding into the leader ability there, which is very nice. You can also just pitch a card that you don't really need as well. So we're running 3 of these because answering a 5-cost on your 6 Dawn turn, very strong. Answering a 10 cost on your 10 Dawn turn with just 7 Dawn investment is very nice, plus also being able to use your leader ability thereafter and gaining a body back is very strong value play, and I think something that is probably one of your better plays to have in this deck, besides obviously the 8-cost Gecko Moria. Then we're running 4 Suru. This is a 2K counter that has some decent utility here in minusing 2 costs to an opponent's card. So that is something to help reduce the cost of something and then maybe get it within range of KOing in effect with like a Sakazuki or Brook or whatever else, maybe an Absalom as well. The other card that we're running more of in this deck, as opposed to last set, is the 8-cost Isho. This is a Dawn ×1, your turn. All of your opponent's characters get -3 to their cost. And then on play, this is pretty important. If your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, trash 2 cards from your opponent's hand. So one of the things that Gecko Moria, I think, is really strong at is keeping your opponent's resources to a minimum. So using the Isho to rip cards from hand, also the Perona, which has been the historically best play to open up with, being able to rip a card from hand with just a swing, plus also leader ability is just, it's nuts. So overall, Isho has a pretty strong synergy with what you're trying to do with the deck. Keep your opponent's resources low, using minusing effects to then also be able to do on-play KO effects is very strong. So Isho, I would almost argue you could bump this up a little bit more to maybe 3. However, it is one of those cards that's a little strange where you do want to be playing your 8-cost Gecko Moria on your 8 Dawn turn, and Isho, if it comes anytime after, is a little bit awkward. But if you can get it in your hand and play it on curve, I would say that it is probably your strongest play to be made, to be honest. Next up, we're running 4 brand new, and the reason we're running 4 brand new in this deck is because the way that this deck I think is transitioned into OP07 is it runs a fair amount of Navy cards, and so being able to search out some of these Navy cards, plus also filling up your trash, because when you're searching with brand new, the cards do not go back into your deck, they go into your trash. Those 2 pieces are essential to what Moria is trying to do. Finding a Navy piece and then also filling up trash is your best plays to be made with brand new. It's probably your best opening play, especially if you're going second, being able to play brand new and then essentially find what you need and then also fill up your trash while doing it. Then we're running 3 Sabo, the best blocker in black. It's a 5 cost 6,000 power body. On play, your characters can't be KO'd by card effects until the start of your next turn. Draw 2, trash 2. A couple things there. If you're going against the mirror or you're going against Lucci, this will prevent any of your characters from being KO'd, so that's very nice to have. And then additionally, filling up your trash the best that you can. Filtering out your hand is very nice in this deck. So Sabo, dual purpose there. Love to see it. My favorite card in black, and I think is an auto include in any black deck that you're playing from here on out. We're running 3 Rebecca. This is a blocker. On play, return up to 1 black character other than Rebecca with a cost of 3 to 7 from the trash to your hand. Then play up to 1 cost 3 or less black character from your hand to the field rested. So you're able to grab usually value plays here. So playing a Rebecca down can either get a Hina out, so reducing the cost of something, and then you can play like Absalom or like a Brook or whatever it may be. You can also grab 2Ks like a Perona, or you can grab a Sabo if you need the Sabo. There's, like I said, versatility here in what you can play or grab from the trash. And then, of course, being able to play something from your hand for free from 1 to 3 is really nice. So you can play a brand new if you have it in your hand and get a search off while also grabbing something from the trash with the Rebecca ability. So yeah, this card is just nuts. Like, the blockers in this deck are really strong, and I think you could argue for bumping them up to 4 each, but this deck has a little bit of a issue with like deck size as far as like, if I could run 60 cards with this deck, I might, you know? There's a fair amount of stuff you'd like to see, but yeah, I think 3 and 3 is a fair amount here. Next, we're running Absalom at 4. This is a on play, you may return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. KO up to 1 of your characters the cost of 2 or less. So another piece that can KO things and you can take out from your trash because it is a Thriller Bark's Pirate and it is able to be used with your leader ability. There's no question here. We're running 4 8-cost Gecko Moria. This is your boss monster of the deck, and it's an on-play. I mean, if you don't know what it is, how do you not know? I mean, you must be new to the game. That's fine. Welcome to the game. But welcome to the game to probably the most broken card in the game. On play, choose up to 1 cost 4 or less, and up to 1 cost 2 or less character from your trash. Play 1 of them, and then play the remaining rested. So you can grab a bunch of different combos with this deck. Ultimately, what you're probably going to do is a lot of value plays, either gaining a Rebecca on the field, playing a brand new, and then the Rebecca grabs something like a Hina and can play the Hina, or grabs a Brook and plays the Brook, or whatever it may be. So many combos and not enough time to go over them all, but just know that there's a reason Gecko Moria is very strong and put into a black deck for the most part at 4 of. Next up, we're running 4 Dr. Hogback. This is an on-play. Return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Put up to 1 Thriller Bark card other than Dr. Hogback from your trash to your hand. So this is a great value play because you're able to grab back maybe like 2Ks like Sindri or Perona, which we'll get to in a second, or you're able to get a Moria back to hand if you've accidentally milled it and you need to be able to play it. So Hogback has a great amount of utility in what it can grab. Of course, I think early game, you're going to be using this to grab your Morias if they're in trash. Late game, you're going to be using it to get 2Ks to be able to survive potential lethal attacks. I'm not disappointed with this card. I love seeing it. Honestly, it is one of the MVPs of the deck for me, as opposed to probably some of the other Thriller Bark Pirate types, or just cards in general. I think Hogback is very, very much a needed card and can't be overstated in that regard. Next, we're running 4 Sindri, and this is a 2K counter that essentially acts as like a searcher for you in a weird way. So what it does is on play, if your leader has a Thriller Bark Pirates type, trash 5 cards from the top of your deck. So this, on your opening turn going first, will allow you to basically see what's in your trash and say, okay, what's my next play? If you've milled any Thriller Bark Pirates type, you're able to then, on your following turn, use your leader ability and get them out of the trash. So like I said, in a weird way, it almost acts as like a searcher because the cards that are going in your trash trash act as a second hand. We're running 4 Perona. This is a 2k counter, but it is also your best card to be playing when you're in the early game. This is an on play. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, choose one of the following. Your opponent discards 1 card from their hand, or give up to one of your opponent's characters minus cost 3 for the turn. So don't forget about that second ability. That's actually pretty important for some of the cost reduction if you need cost reduction in a pinch. But for the most part, you're going to be playing this for the discard effect, which is really annoying for opponents to have to deal with. But mostly you're going to be using this for the discard effect. You're on your 3-down turn, you use your leader ability, you pitch the Perona, or maybe it's already in your trash from the Sindri, and then you play the Perona out, discarding a card from the hand, and then they also have to worry about the attack connecting with Moria. So either they counter out of the Moria attack and probably turn Peronas offline thereafter, which is good for you as Moria, or they take the hit and then you can play another Perona the following turn and take another card out of hand. So it's a very tough decision for the opponent to have to deal with in the very early games, which will set you up for more success as the game goes on. Then we're running 3 Hina. This is a 3-cost, 5,000 power body. On play, give it to one of your opponent's characters, -4 to their cost during this turn. It doesn't have counter, which does suck. It's a dead card a lot of times in hand. However, this card, you're hoping to get into the trash, or you can just play it with a Rebecca value play from the hand. If it's in the hand, you can play Rebecca down, grab something from trash, and then if Hina's in hand, you can just play it for free. It is rested, but this will also give an incentive for your opponent to attack into it, and you do have the Rebecca to either block it or just let the attack go through and then let it go to the trash, and you basically saved a life by playing this out. So that's a very nice play overall. Hina is a good combo piece, especially going second. If you are on your, if you are on your 6th-on turn, you can go Hina -4 to something and then use your leader ability to play an Absalom out and KO that thing. And then you've just established 2 bodies, which will be swinging to require cards from your opponent's hand even further. Very annoying to have to deal with overall. Then we're running 2 Helmeppo. This is mostly for a like a trash fodder. You're trying to put this in your deck to end up in the trash because the -3 effect on play is very strong with your Moria turn, being able to get something down -3, usually Ice Age, Helmeppo, and then being able to Absalom or maybe even Brook to KO something with the Moria is probably one of your better value plays to have. Of course, this has a 1k counter, so if you do brand new search and you find the Helmeppo, you're not disappointed to have it because you can then use it to discard to counter out. So ultimately, though, you're going to want to see this in the trash. And then finally, we're running 4 Ice Age. This is a Navy card that can be searched by brand new, but it's a 1-cost event that says give up to one of your opponent's characters -5 cost during this turn, and then the triggers K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Trigger, you're not really too worried about using too often, but the most important thing here is that it's -5 cost for only 1 Dawn. And so that is a very, very great value. And so that's a great value there because what you're able to do is then handle big bodies. I think with this deck, you're probably not going to be able to handle a wide board as easily in the past. I'm not running Lucci, as you can see, but for the most part, you don't really need it. I think the things that you can do here is play out a bunch of smaller bodies and then contest the board with the smaller bodies, or have them, the opponent, worry about those smaller bodies. The only thing that is a problem are the bigger bodies sometimes, and you have the Ice Age to be able to answer those pretty easily. So overall, I think that the Moria deck is my pick for the best black deck in the meta. I just think that, once again, Lucci, being a new leader, a lot of people are looking to play Lucci, and obviously Lucci is a little bit of a different play style, but when it's on, it's on. However, it's very inconsistent. I think Moria, on the other hand, is consistent at what it does, and the game plan is very forward on what you're trying to do, and overall, I think this deck will see a lot of good play for the rest of OP07 and win or place at a high level in a lot of tournaments. But overall, enough about the deck list. Let's take it into the sim and see how it does. Black-Yellow Luffy is going to be one of our hardest matchups here. I'm going to take first, even though I probably should have taken second. This is not a bad hand for us to have, to be quite honest. But our curve is definitely a little bit awkward because we are, as you can see, we have an even curve in our hand, and Luffy likes to go second anyway, so maybe just taking that away from them would have been nice. Let's go ahead. What do we do? Do we just play out a brand new? Maybe grab a Ice Age. We could have grabbed a Hina as well. Maybe put something on the board, and then we'll pass. This next turn will probably be like a 5-6. And if that's the case, I think we can take... Oh, maybe they go 5-5. We can take one of them. We don't mind going down to maybe like 3, maybe 2 life. Personally, I don't mind that. That's fine. And then what we can do is play Perona. or take the Perona, put it into the trash, and then we can just get rid of this by going here, using the card action to get rid of a Perona, putting a Perona to trash a card from their hand. And then what do they have, or what can we put down into the trash this turn as well, is something to consider. Okay, get rid of Kuzan. So they're running that version of it. That's very good for us to know. That's huge information. We do not see anything that is really worth grabbing out of the trash quite yet. So this was almost like a waste of a 2K, it feels like. But we do have an E-Show at least to be able to have some top end here. And hopefully we can keep them around a 6 hand size so that by the time we drop E-Show, it really hurts them. E-Show is just one of those, it's like such a good card against this deck. I think if you can counter out with one card, that's fine. I don't want to attack into this, or I don't want to attack into this Luffy, so what I'm going to end up doing is just go here, get that down. We're going to play out the Rebecca and then play a Brook and get rid of this. And we can pass. They're at 8. We're going to be going into our E-Show turn. That is really good for us. Really, really good for us. Another Luffy. Unfortunate. What can we do? We'll just block. I think what we can do is E-Show. E-Show gets them down to 2. We'll do this just to get rid of the Garp, get it off the field, and then pass. They will be able to get down to a decent hand size here. Or be able to probably use their leader ability by this Luffy. Unfortunately, not getting rid of this Luffy does suck, but there's no other option, and I wanted to establish the E-Show first. Ripping a little Luffy and an Ivankov out of their hands, really nice here. There's a way, like we could, I mean, they might just use their leader ability this turn, but there's a world where we could actually just... Yeah, they're using their leader ability. Do they have Sabos? That's an important thing. I mean, they might have Sabos in hand. It doesn't matter if they have them here or not, to be quite honest. Sabo will be unfortunate for us, if that's the case. Because Sabo just means that we can't use our KO abilities on some of this stuff. Rocket Luffy to put a Rocket Luffy into a... they had Sabo. Why? Unlucky. Unlucky. Another Sabo. Unlucky. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah, that hurts us because we can't get rid of this stuff, but that's fine. We can probably get rid of this Luffy. They'll probably swing into us. We'll take it. And we have to take this one. Unfortunate. It is what it is. So they're at 5. We could go like... We could do this. Use the card action to get rid of that E-Show. Play this out to trash a card. What are they going to trash here is a good question. Another Luffy. Okay. Well, do we give them the... What do we do here is a good question. We don't want them to play Rocket Luffy, right? So let's just go here. Swing 10. We want them to not have this Rocket Luffy in their life. We'll go here, and we're going to grab a Perona and pass. I don't want them to have the Rocket Luffy to be able to KO the Rebecca. Is the only downside here. Going 10? Okay. Do you think they're going for lethal? Are they going for lethal is the question. This looks like a maybe potential lethal. Please don't have another Sabo. They do have little Sabo, don't they? They might. They just might. Luffy. Okay. Into Sabo. Gosh, they had it all, didn't they? Even with ripping stuff out of hand. This deck just sees it all. It's insane. They're getting rid of the Isho? I wonder if they're getting rid of the Isho here. They're not. Okay, so that's fine. We can do this and then block. Do we go 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can just go 9 here. 4. Maybe they have counter. They probably have counter if I had to guess. They might have it. Oh, double Moria. Wow. Yeah, we got super lucky. We got super lucky there. I didn't expect that. I'm going to be honest. Like, I didn't expect us to pull out the victory. Usually, they keep their last 2 cards as, like, counters. They got rid of Luffy into Sabo. I think they were being a little bit greedy. I think they were being greedy there. You test the waters with this Isho, though. That's why it's so good, is because it rips a card from, or 2 cards from hand, and then it just base level just can swing into them. So, yeah. We barely pulled that one out. All right, against Enel, I think we want to take first and see if we can get the Sindri. We have it. We also have a Moria. So we do have some good value plays here. Let's use the Sindri off the bat, see what we get in the trash. Nothing of value for us, unfortunately. So what that means is we're going to have to trash the Perona from hand this next turn and get a card out of their hand. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's get the Perona, play the Perona, trash a card from hand. And they're at 2 life already, which isn't the best. It's not great for us, but we do a great job at establishing bodies on the board. So something to note. This next turn, they could just go all in. They might just go like 9 at face. And that's honestly the best play for them because I don't think that they have anything else. Maybe Frankie. Oh, they're just going like interesting. Yeah, we'll take it. I don't mind. We'll just counter out of this one with the Rebecca. Do you have anything in the trash that we care about? Not really. Let's go here. Use the card action to get a Perona. I'm not going to attack into the life. I don't want to get their life down too low. They do have a Gadatsu that they ripped, so they probably have another one ready to go here. I don't care to swing into their face. I just don't. I want to keep them at 2. I want to make it really awkward for them. And if they're giving me bodies to swing into, I'd rather just do that instead. Do we care about the Shirahoshi? If they go on 8, they could Shirahoshi, put the Shirahoshi back in life with Katakuri. This is going to be a really awkward play here, and it's probably not for the best, but let's do it. Let's go Hina, Absalom. Yeah. We'll go Hina. We'll swing here. We'll go pitch the Helmeppo to bring out an Absalom. And then 1, 2, get rid of the Shirahoshi. Get them down to 1 life. And then pass the turn. We have this board that they have to answer. They can't heal up with their Katakuri if that's what their plan was. And we can play a Moria for anything that they get rid of this turn. The only play that they have is, okay, Gadatsu, swing 8. That's really good for us, because if they swing 8 here, then that means that they cannot use their Yamato at us. Really good here. Now we just swing in. Well, actually, what could we do? This gets the Gadatsu down to that. We can get rid of a Tsuru. I don't mind doing that. Let's do here. Or, hold on. What's the best play? We could do a value play. Yeah, I don't think we do a value play. I think we just go 5. We just start poking, testing the waters, see what they have. Start asking for cards out of hand. Of course it's an Onami. It's always an Onami. Let's see what we can get out of hand here. Yep, we're just trying to test the waters, see what we can get. We'll go here. Moria into Absalom into Helmeppo. Helmeppo does this. Absalom does this. Gets rid of this. And we can get rid of a Suru. And then pop. So this next turn might be ace. Could be an ace turn. If it's an ace turn, it'll be very much, yeah, signified as to what they're doing. That's fine. Let's go here into a Absalom, into the Perona to trash a card from hand. We'll swing 6. They get rid of an Enel. Enel's pretty good here. Let's go and play the Sabo. We'll drop the Absalom and the Hogback because we can get those back anyway. Let's go 5 at lead. And then what we'll do is we'll go 7 next and then 9 next. They probably are going to counter out of the 7 and then take the 9 and then play an ace in response. We have to make sure that they are down in hand size, and then also their only play here is to go ace. Yeah. So what that means is we're probably going to get rid of a couple bodies here, unfortunately. What's the same? It's the same thing as doing this. We'll go here. We'll give them a Sabo. And this is an ace. They might go ace at Moria. Oh, they just go ace at the... That's fine. And now, what we can do is 7. Pitch a card from hand. 7s at this point in the game is your best bet to take care of Enel. 7. They pitch an ace. They would likely have to counter out of this one. Yeah. We'll go 7 again. 7, 7, 9. I don't think, unless they get a really good trigger here, I don't think that they're going to be able to counter out of what they need to here. If they just go like barehanded and they go 0 cards in hand, then we go after the board. Okay. The only way that we lose here is if they do get a really good trigger out of life. Okay, this is also pretty solid for us. We can go 5 here. And then we just close out. Yeah. That's how you do it. Enel, you have to be very, very, very patient and then keep them around 2 life, and you should be okay. This is a matchup that you're favored into because you can just spit out so many bodies. As you can see, our board was full, and we had the issue of having not enough board space. So yeah, we're fine with them getting rid of stuff because we can just replace it. And getting 3 Peronas, essentially like 4 on the field with the effect was really good. Trashing cards from hand hurts Enel. And that's why Isho is also good in this matchup as well. Okay, against Law, I think I want to take first. This hand is kind of bad. I think we mulligan because we need counter. We didn't even get counter. Okay, well, we mulligan for an arguably worse hand. Let's just use our leader ability and see if we can get anything. We get a Hogback. That's fine. Hogback is good. Something is better than nothing. We get a body on board. And if they answer it, they answer it. If they don't, then we can start attacking with the Hogback. Keeping the Absalom in the trash is good for us because what that means is we are able to use the Absalom at another time. Morley. What is with these random builds? It's like so weird. Let's go here, and I guess I don't think I need an Isho if I'm going to be honest. Go 6, 7. See what they do. They probably counter out of this one. I mean, 7. They should have countered out of the first one, seeing that 6 was coming their way. Yeah, counter out of this one. Why are they playing Morley? That's so weird. I've never seen Morley in a red-purple Law build. Yeah, that's fine. You can get rid of the Hogback. Ooh, Hogback can actually grab back a Moria, because there is one in trash. We do get some good plays here with Moria into, like, Hogback brand new. Okay, they get rid of that. It's fine. I think we start going for the board if we can. We're going to be at 7. This gets rid of 5 or less. Use the card action. pitch that, and then go 5. 5 to 5. Pass the turn, and then this next turn, we probably take 1. I think we take 1, and then we can go hog back brand new and just like get as many Morias as possible in hand. We can also go like get the Rebecca on the field. I think that's not a good play though. I think Rebecca's not the best thing here. Rebecca's mostly going to be used for a counter and maybe something to throw out as like a safety measure against this deck. I guess they're testing out the Revolutionary Army package in this. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Reiju, of course, really strong card. Hate to see it. They'll go 5-6, so we take the 6. And we'll counter out of the... They don't even go... What? Okay. Interesting. Most interesting. Okay, let's go 6. We're not going to use the card action. 6, 7, play a Moria. Moria goes hog back brand new. Hog back to get... Okay. I think we just go after the board. I don't think we need to pressure life anymore. We just go after their board. Get cards out of hand. So we got a 1K. And hopefully we can get a 2K out of hand here. They probably have it. It's just like determining, is it worth for them to counter out? I guess it is. We'll go here, hog back, brand new first to grab nothing, choose 0 targets, and then we're going to go 1, 2, and put a Moria back in hand, and then pass the turn. So now we have some good counter in hand to be able to counter out of whatever they go at us this turn, and then we can probably play another Moria, and that'd be good here. Okay, so this is a good play from them, because then they can just bottom deck this brand new, and maybe swing at the Sakazuki. Another Reiju. Oh, yikes. It's insane. The value is so good for them. I think we could go Rebecca. Maybe. Yeah, we go Rebecca. We'll take the 7, I guess. Another Morley. So they're just getting stuff out of hand. Building up a big board. A 1K. And we'll take this one. What is our best play here? Maybe it's playing out a Hina, because we don't... Hina's kind of a dead card in our hand. So let's go 6. Because this will require them to at least block and use something, right? We're just getting rid of a body or cards out of hand, and then maybe establishing something for the next turn. Okay, this is good for us. We'll go 6 at face. Seven at face. And then 9. Is this a turn where they go 2-1? They counter out of this one? They might. Okay, they do a 6, and then we just counter. We just swing into them. We just swing into the blocker because we can't lethal them this turn. That's totally fine. We go Rebecca into brand new search. I don't want to grab the Isho though. Is the problem? Yeah, we'll just grab any. I mean, we grab the Isho. We're not happy about grabbing the Isho. We'll grab a Sabo, and then we're gonna play out this, and then we can pass. So we're in a little bit of a pickle here where if they play a body down, then they can just instantly remove the Rebecca. So if they give us the opportunity to use our Rebecca, we have to use the Rebecca. We have 2, 2, 1, and we unfortunately don't... I mean, we don't have a lot of 2Ks in trash, which is a good thing here. That actually means that we might have more 2Ks instantly. We're just going to instantly use the blocker. Oh, we can't use it. We can't use it on this. It's unlucky. Are we able to survive an onslaught of like... I don't know if that's like worth it for them. Okay, they play out a Kid and Killer. Okay, that's fine. Go here. Guess we see what we get. Yeah, we'll see what we get. And then a Kid for 6. We have the 2K. I mean, yeah, maybe if they sequenced it differently, they would have had it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they would have like that. That could have been maybe a different play from them. I mean, we can just stack all on, but just to make it more simple. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have it, but also I don't know if this package, Revolutionary Army, is the best. Obviously here with Morley, it was really good. And then obviously them using the ability to get rid of the Rebecca and getting that Dawn back might have been fine. Yeah, I don't know about that though. I would have probably played something else, like maybe a Chopper blocker just to get the 3 Dawn. I don't know. That's a rough thing to say what you could have done. So, oh well, this matchup is kind of rough, regardless of its Revolutionary Army or not, simply because they do spit out a lot of bodies, and they get a little bit more value than you do in this set. So, Moria's still good. All right, so if I am going to make some recommendations here for this deck list, I would say probably cut some of the bricks that we're running, or maybe just reduce Sakazuki and bump Hina up to 4, Sakazuki down to maybe like a 2. There's times where Sakazuki makes sense, like late game you're able to like use an Ice Age and Sakazuki, but there's times where it's just kind of weird in your hand and you're not at 6 Dawn yet, and then you get another one and you're kind of just like dumbfounded on what to do. So yeah, you can always just use it on the leader ability to pitch it and then do something else. But I've got to be honest, like this deck feels very consistent for the most part, and seeing the pieces you need will likely happen. I find myself in fewer scenarios where I'm not like feeling super pressured that I have to go for game or like I'm about to lose. I feel like my game plan is usually the same every time. Try to spit out bodies, do your max value play per turn, whether it's playing Perona or KOing something with Absalom or getting something back with Hogback. There's plenty of things for you to do every turn, and then things to do in between with some of your bigger bodies like Isho or Moria. There are times where Isho, it's a little awkward to find a time to play Isho, but if you can, I would say establish Isho first. Unless you're going against like a Black Mirror, maybe just like the Moria Wars are better to do. But yeah, overall, this deck feels super consistent. I think that it is probably... I think it's probably your best bet to play as a black deck overall for value. Lucci does, if they see their stuff, you know, if Lucci sees what they need to see, it is the better deck, period. But the problem is, how often does Lucci see every piece that they need every game? So I'd say, like, pound for pound, Moria in a 9-round tournament will likely see what it needs more often than not. Its game plan is a little bit more clear-cut than Lucci. So I'd say, yeah, take Moria. If you're wanting to play a black deck, that is, you know, good for its game plan. Anyways, that does it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching, as always. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.